Coming up, most of us take it for granted that we have a roof over our head. But what happens when you find yourself losing everything and being threatened with eviction from your very own home? What can you do when you've sunk so deeply into debt that you don't know how to escape? And is there a way out? Well, stay tuned for our live guest who will tell their story on how they went from eviction and debt to financial success.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now tonight we're talking about financial matters. Yes, that's right. You know, if you are going through a serious debt issue, no, it's become a crisis that you're almost, or maybe you have been evicted and you don't know what to do. Maybe you are not sleeping well. You are struggling to make ends meet. It's affecting the family. It's affecting your relationship with the people that you live with. Then, on tonight's program, we are going to address this issue. Now, before we speak about this and introduce you to Rachel, let's have a look at our segment, It's Possible.
And welcome to another Through Faith It's Possible. Now in this section we like to show how faith can change and improve people's lives. Now I'm here today with Ronica, who's ready to tell her story on just how faith improved her life. Hi Ronica.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So do you want to tell the viewers just how faith improved your life?
I think what I learned, especially before finding faith, was that I was very lost. I didn't know myself. I didn't know who I was as a person. I just thought that I wasn't worth nothing. I had a lot of abuse that was done to me. I saw a lot of abuse as well. So I was just mentally not in the right stable of mind. So when I learned about faith, when I learned about how we can be better, that we can improve on the inside first, because when we change, then the outside of our lives will change. I started to see improvements with my mentality, with my family as well. Then in my finances, I'm learning to be more wise in there. So all areas of my life has changed just because I learned how to have faith in myself and how to be better as well, and in God.
And have you noticed a difference in the way people interact with you as well?
Can I be honest with you, especially with my family? I know it's so weird, but I never had really good relationships with my family. I never had a good relationship with my mom, but now we're actually getting closer. We've actually built better relationship, even with my father as well. So I just called him just yesterday. So it was kind of nice to be able to call them and not have to worry about what they think. So we've actually been getting better. Even that, my day-to-day relationships, people have seen changes as well. So it's like, wow, there is more healthier relationship just because of finding faith.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is fantastic. So are your family involved with faith as well? Do they?
Slowly but surely I can see the changes in them. Before they wasn't, but now I can see that my faith has results. So that they're changing a little bit. They're starting to be more warmer to it. Before they were like, no, I'm not interested. It's all about another religion. It's all about nothing like that. But now they're starting to be a bit more warm, a bit more interested in what I've got to say. My mum's even recommending the place of worship that I attend as well to other people. So
yeah, that's brilliant. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
No problem.
Today. And please do tune in next time for another Through Faith It's Possible. But for now, we're going to go back to the studio.
Welcome back. So tonight's program is From Eviction and Debt to Financial Success. And as I said before, the program, the break just then, maybe you are going through a big problem right now. Right in front of you, there are piles of bills. And maybe you have unopened letters that are just stashed away. You're afraid to open them because you know that the bailiff can be knocking at any moment. And maybe you stay indoors, or maybe you stay outside of the house because you're afraid that that door will knock one day. Well, with me tonight is Rachel. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening.
So this topic tonight, we have many people, especially nowadays, though they're saying that the economy is improving, but we still have people who are really deep in debt.
We do, and it's interesting what you were saying about the bailiffs coming round to evict people, because actually that's something which is happening more and more, and often it can happen way quicker than the person would expect it to happen. Now, after this happens, this is what I've been looking at. After this happens, what do people do?
Well, previously, people could actually claim their squatters' rights and find an empty building until they got themselves back on their feet. Now, we've all heard of squatters, people who find these residential buildings who nobody's living in at the time, and they go in there and they make a home for themselves out of it. But as of 2012, this became illegal. So it's now a criminal offence to do such a thing and to find these empty buildings and to live in them. And if you actually do this now, you can get fined up to £5,000 or you can face up to 6 months in jail. So supporters of this say that it's great. I mean, why should some people have to pay for accommodation, especially the rising housing accommodation prices in the UK? Why should some people have to pay for that and others don't? Well, others aren't so sure, especially housing charities who say that this is completely unfair, that actually there are over 900,000 properties in the UK which are sitting empty and which nobody's using or using for anything else, so they might as well be used by those who don't have anywhere else to live. And we also have an increasing problem with homelessness, which also leads to crime and drug addiction. So actually, people are questioning whether or not this would maybe be better for the economy to actually let these people back into these houses. But, I mean, the jury is out, so we're always interested to find out what you think on this. But what do you think, first of all, on this?
Well, it is a big issue and, you know, related to the housing crisis, I do believe that, you know, these empty properties should be, you know, open to people who are homeless, you know, people who are struggling to get on the property ladder, and stop selling them to, you know, these big rich people from Russia and China and things like that. And I think that that would solve many of our problems today in this country. Now, back to the issue of debt. And, you know, if you are in debt, and, you know, when you're in debt, it has an effect not only on your mental health, it has effect on your relationships, you know, the people who are close to you, because there's that stress, you know, there is that pressure to try to make ends meet. You have to tighten the belt, and it can be quite difficult, you know, to clear your debts, especially in circumstances that we are living in right now. People are very cautious about spending. And maybe if that's your case, how can faith, you know, it's back to that question of faith again here on Finding Answers. Can faith really help you to solve your financial problems? And I know when it comes to money and God, people, you know, don't want to talk about these things. Actually, God and church and, you know, place of worship, they get a bad name. And I know there are a lot of bad people out there who use God in order to make money. I'm not talking about those people. I'm saying, how can faith in God help you to overcome and beat your financial struggles? Maybe you are going through a problem now and you just want someone to talk to. Maybe you want us to refer you to third parties maybe, right? And if you would like that information, if you like our help tonight, if you like a prayer, then our lines are open right now. You can give us a call on 0207 686 6300, 0207 686 6300. If you'd like to contact us, if you want to know more about tonight's topic or you want some help with your financial struggles, then Rachel, as usual, will give us the social media. Go on, Rachel.
Yes, I will. Do get in touch with us. You can find us on Facebook, as always, if you search Finding Answers. You can also find us on Instagram, and you'll see some behind-the-scenes footage there. Again, just search Finding Answers. Maybe you want more in-depth kind of discussion on each topic. Why don't you look us up on YouTube? We're also at Finding Answers, and you can watch from anywhere in the world there, of course. If you want to email one of the pastors directly and ask for some specific help, please do. You can address the email to who you want to speak to, or you can ask for general help as well. And the email address is help@findinganswers.tv.
Rachel, just want to ask you, have you ever been in debt yourself? At any point?
Yeah, as a student, I was in debt, definitely. Especially in the first year, actually, I got into quite a lot of debt, which I then had to pay back by just having a part-time job at the same time.
So you actually cleared everything?
I did. I cleared the debt, but it is very easy to quickly go into. And once you're in debt, I can definitely see the kind of mindset which says, well, I've bought this one thing and I'm in debt already, so another coffee is not going to really make a big difference. And you can actually let these kind of thoughts build up, and it can obviously escalate into a bigger problem, as I think we're going to hear it from our live guests tonight.
Well, there you have it. I've actually never been in debt myself. You spoke about university. I received a grant when I went to university. So the year I graduated, that's when they started to start tuition fees.
That is so lucky for you.
yeah, it was. But, you know, thankfully, I didn't get into debt, and I have not been in debt. But if you are in debt, then we want to help you tonight, okay? My guest for this evening will be sharing his story of how he got himself into debt and how he was nearly evicted. Stay tuned, because we'll hear his story right after this break.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
We're DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, tonight's topic is from eviction and debt to financial success. Now, let's meet my guest for this evening who'll be sharing his story with us.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So, Samuel, welcome to the program. How are you doing?
I'm doing better than great.
Better than great,
yes.
Okay. And also we have Pastor Bruno with us. Hi, Pastor Bruno.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
Now, tonight's topic, Pastor Bruno, you know, debt and eviction. It's something that a lot of people, it's not reported about so much, now and again, but we have a lot of people who are being evicted because of debts and financial struggles.
Yes, it is a serious issue and unfortunately affecting many people out there. But luckily, if I can say luckily, by faith, it's possible to overcome this problem and all other problems, because actually everything is possible by faith. You who are watching us right now, if you have financial problems, financially you are struggling to make ends meet, it's possible to overcome the situation. I believe that.
Yeah, and we're going to reveal that now, or should I say later on in the program. But let's hear Samuel's story. So Samuel,
yes,
you were in debt, right?
Yes.
Tell us how, you know, how was everything and what led you to get into debt? Was it like a bad choice, a bad decision, one after the other? What actually led you to get into debt in the first place?
Okay, it was stupid decisions.
Yeah.
As a young man, I believe, you know, when I was young, being involved with different types of people and not having the right direction, or shall I say the right vision to progress in life, led me to having debts and not find answers, or not find someone to consult with that can give me the right answers to go about that debt.
So were you actually working at the time, or were you not working, or you were looking for work? What was it?
No, at that time I wasn't working at all.
Okay.
So I found myself, I believe I was traveling, and I found myself on the train, on board, without having to pay my train fare. And when the ticket inspectors came at that time, they asked for my Oyster card to see if I had the money, and I didn't have. So they told me, look, give us a call within 21 days, I believe at that time, and then we'll be able to resolve your situation. So I could have resolved this situation if I had just called them.
Right.
But then I thought, you know, I don't need to call them. I've got better things to do.
Okay.
Yes, and that led to, you know, to a lot of money accumulating, and then, you know, the case having to go to the courts, and then from the courts to the police, and then from the police, and then they had to take action. So
this was something innocent. It wasn't you trying to, you know, escape paying the train fare. Is that correct?
No, I definitely was not trying to escape, but it was a stupid decision, you know, me being premature at that time, you know, concerning making, you know, great decisions that could potentially change my life, so I didn't really have that type of direction.
Pastor Bruno, you know, something he just said there is, it's what many people, they do. When they face a problem, they think, if I just sweep it underneath the carpet, it will go away. But if you avoid making that phone call, if you avoid opening that letter and paying that parking ticket, for example, it escalates and it grows and grows and grows, and then it becomes something more serious, right?
Well, Pastor Michael, that holds true, I would say, not only for a ticket, a parking ticket or a fine that the person gets, but that holds true for every other problem in life. Because if the person doesn't tackle the problem from the beginning head on, the tendency is that that problem will grow, things will only get worse. You know, when it comes to problem solving, time is not a friend. Like many people say, with time problems will be solved on their own. No, it's not. Yeah. You know, many problems, they get worse. A sickness, a problem in the marriage, financial problem, the debts. And when we talk about debts, that's our theme today, you know, especially those ones which receive a lot of interest.
Yeah,
because if the person allows that to grow, my friend, the person will be only paying the interest.
And Samuel, that's what you saw, right? You avoided dealing with that matter. They even gave you 21 days.
21, yes.
To sort everything out. And I'm sure it would have been sorted out by then. Yeah. So tell us then what happened. As you said, from 21 days, you went to the courts or the police, you said?
Yes. So they gave me the 21 days. Even my mom saw the letter. So she was like, okay, son, make sure that you give these people a call. But I, me being me, I decided, okay, look, let me just put this to the side. They're not going to do anything anyway. you know, so let me just live my life. However, you know, after a couple of months, because they didn't call me after 21 days.
So you thought it would be over?
Exactly. So they were patient. And then they sent me a letter saying, you know what, the money has accumulated to this amount. Then I was like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna speak to anybody about this. I'll just put it to the side. Anyway, 3 years passed. 3 years passed.
They didn't contact you or anything like that?
They sent at least 1 or 2 letters.
Right.
Within those years. And then all of a sudden, the money was £600. £600 that I had to pay.
And initially, what would you have to pay?
I believe it was either £21 or 18, something like this.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously you were, in the beginning, there was a small fine to pay.
It's a very small.
20-something pounds.
Yes.
Now it was 600.
600 to 500.
And were you working at this time?
No. I was not working. I was pursuing my football career at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when that letter came through your door saying you owed now £600,
yeah,
what was your initial thought?
Because the funny thing is that I didn't see the letter. My mum is the one that opened the letter. So I think I was coming from somewhere. I came from somewhere. My mum was quite angry. And then I was like, what's happening here? And then she showed me the letter. And then he said that if you spend, I believe, 1 more week or 14 more days without consulting us, police, you're going to have a criminal record and potential for us to come to your house and take in property if we don't get our money.
Now, reading that, seeing that, did you learn your lesson? Did you take action, or did you kind of brush it underneath the carpet again? No, this is not real. It's never going to happen.
Nah, then at that time, that's when I had to do something. I had to take action. I believe at that time, I started rewiring my mind. You know, investing myself in different things. I had stopped hanging around with that type of environment that I was hanging around with 3 years ago. So I started investing the money that I was receiving at that time.
And what money were you receiving?
You know, I believe at that time I would receive money from my brothers or receive money from my mom. So it wasn't really working. But I would invest that money into systems that would enable my mind to have a great vision.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Did the bailiffs actually come around?
Yes, they did.
They knocked on your door?
They came.
And what happened?
So they came, and me not having money, they came in the morning. So they knocked. And I think my mother thought they were after my brother for some reason, because something was going on. And they said, no, we want to speak to Samuel William. Then
Were you at home at the time?
I was at home, yes. And then I was like, yeah, this is Samuel William, mate. What can I do? And then he's like, look, we're here to collect some money. You know, we're not gonna leave. And then they literally put themselves into my house, into my mother's house, and there was nothing that we could do. And my mum had to make the payment.
What, everything?
Everything. It was all or nothing. They had to make the payment straight away.
Yeah.
So what happened was, at that time, you know, me looking at my mum, I couldn't really look at her because, you know, having to pay that amount of money and then having to call my brother in his workplace because my mum couldn't pay that amount of money straight away. So I had to reach out to my other brother. So when my mum paid that money, they were like, look, we need more. Otherwise, they're going to take the TV. Otherwise, they're going to take something else. So I had to reach out to my other brother at work, and then he had to transfer the money through to my account for me to pay them. And then, you know, it was a crazy day.
How did that feel? What was the pressure on you seeing, you know, your family have to go through that in order to pay off your debt?
Yeah, first of all, I felt like I wasn't a man. I felt like, you know, someone else was dealing with the case that I should have been dealing with. So I was like, from that day on, you know, believing in a great God out there, I was like, I have to use my faith. This makes no sense. How can I say that I believe in this great God and then I have nothing to show for my finances, through my finances?
I remember watching a program actually there's a program specifically about debt collectors. I don't know if you've seen this on TV. They actually go in, as Samuel said, they go into people's homes and they're just doing their job. And I remember one saying to a person, look, I'm just doing my job. I don't want to do this. I don't like doing this. but I've got to. I can't leave here. And he actually gave them time to find money somehow in order to pay, pay off the money, pay off a bit of the debt or most of the debt. And it's embarrassing, but it's also, as I said, people have to do their job. So it's difficult for it to reach that far and, expect things to, just change like that, right?
Yes. And one thing very important is that God is our Father. He doesn't want us to go that far or to allow the problems to go that far. I can relate this to faith, for example. There are many people who wait the problem, the situation to get to its worst point to come to God. Like someone who has a pain and is avoiding to go to the doctor and only goes to the doctor when the pain is really unbearable. Yeah. Well, there are many people who have problems, and if they came to God earlier with these problems, they could have found a solution much earlier and could have avoided much pain, much embarrassment, much shame, But they wait until the last moment, until the situation is unbearable, until they cannot take it anymore to come to God.
And you don't need to wait that long, right? As Pastor Bruno said, there is God. He wants you not to suffer. And why did Samuel go through what he did? Because he didn't solve that problem when it initially started. Everything could have been resolved if he just paid that £25 fine off there and then. And maybe this is your case. You are avoiding certain things. You are avoiding it. And you are thinking, now I haven't heard from him for 6 months, it's over with. And you're getting on with your life. And maybe you haven't changed because you are still spending your money thinking, you know what? I have no problems. But as Samuel said, he had to learn. He had to learn to change his mindset. He had to learn what to do so that he will never find himself in that same predicament again. So after the break, you're going to find out how he used his faith, how he believed that this situation could change through his faith in God. And if you're going through any problems at this moment, any financial matters, then you can give us a call. The number's on the screen now. It's 0207 686 6300. You can speak to someone and they'll be on hand to talk to you. And if you would like a prayer, they will also pray for you and give you not only spiritual support, but also, the financial, not the financial support, but the advice that you need in order to come out and end this problem once and for all. We'll see you right after this break.
DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not going to go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now. And let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story, and you like that story. What kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No, 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 no. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to
No, no, no,
communicate.
okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on my channel Sky 203 every Saturday 3 p.m.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
So, welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, we heard Samuel's story of how he was nearly, not only himself, evicted or arrested, but his family paid off the debt, but still, you know, he was in the same mess. And we're going to find out how his mindset changed and how he is today. So, Samuel.
Yes.
How did your mindset change?
It changed when I met this lady, right? So I found myself in this Christian center, and it was after the seminars that they hold there, and then this lady, she just approached me randomly, and then she just said, you know, would you be open to hearing what I'm doing? Then I was like, okay, you know, I don't mind. The way that she sounded passionate about what she was doing, but you know, and then she informed me about what, you know, the company that she was working with, that she wanted me to become a part of. And she said that, you know, my husband, who's a lawyer, who lives in Chelsea, can be your mentor.
Okay.
So, you know, before, you know, just to rewind, I was speaking to God before for something to happen, you know, an opportunity, a breakthrough in my financial life. And then when this happened, I knew that I had to take this opportunity.
Now, we have to be cautious as well, because, you know, sometimes people can come up to you and say, you know, I have this deal for you. Take this package, and, you know, when you deliver this package to this address, there's £5,000 waiting for you. So, you know, there are dodgy people out there. But as he said, he started to pray. He started to think, you know what, I've got to change the way that I'm doing things. I want to be independent. I can't be depending on my family. I can't be living at home, you know, sponging off my mom and depending on my brothers. I have to be independent. I have to earn my own money. So just a word of caution, and it's good that you mentioned this. You know, God doesn't just, when you pray, money doesn't just fall out of the sky just like that. I'm sure God saw his desire to want to be independent. And so an opportunity came to you, which was this
Yeah.
This was it a member of that Christian center?
Yes. So
you knew each other?
Yeah. No, we didn't really speak.
Okay.
You know, she attended. I knew her sometimes, and then you know she just approached me.
Okay.
But what was funny was this, because when just going back to the debts, when they came, I was about to go to a football trial.
Okay.
So
as you mentioned, you were into football before.
Yeah, and my mind was focused 100% on that.
Okay.
So now when that came, I had to find a place to work.
Okay.
So I was forced to abandon that and to focus on making money, because my mom, my family, they were they were saying you have to do something now. So straight away, managed to find a job in the same week. In the same week. And then
you found a job?
Yeah. I found a job in the same week.
Okay.
And then from that day on, then that's when I started understanding that, look, I don't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. You know, I'm built for something greater than this. You know, if I serve a God of gold and silver, I have to want the best. Mm-hmm. So when I met this lady and then she told me what she said to me, you know, that, look, there may be a potential opportunity for you, you know, with my husband, if you manage to speak to him. Then I was like, okay, let me take your number and then I'll make sure I'll give you a call the next day, because I wanted the opportunity straight away.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I gave her a call, I gave him a call. He said, look, mate, come, let's meet up. And then from then on, you know, me learning through him, I became a part of this company. He started mentoring me. Then I started earning money through what he was teaching me, enough for me to see the vision of stopping what I was doing, my current line of work, and start working 100% online.
So online. So tell us, what is it that he mentored you in?
Okay, so it was a mobile company. It was a mobile company that we were currently expanding outside of the UK at that time. And then, you know, it was to do with, it's network marketing. So it's to do with using your phone, speaking to your clients, speaking to people. Of course, you have to be a person who's friendly, but you have to know what you want and how to help people. Okay. And this was always me. I've always been a person who loves speaking, loves helping people, and this was for me.
Okay.
So I first of all, I had to ask myself the question, do you believe that you can do this? And then I would be a hypocrite for me not to have gotten myself involved, because if I'm praying in this Christian center, you know, and I'm praying at home, asking God for a breakthrough, and then if I don't take an opportunity just because I'm scared, just because, you know, someone said to me, you know, there were many people that came, you know, this doesn't work, this doesn't do this. But I said to myself...
They tried to put you down.
Exactly.
Discourage you.
Yeah. But with the videos, with other mentors, because I started investing in my mind now, you know, with other different programs. There's a guy called Taya Lopez. He's quite successful. He's a multimillionaire. So I was like, look, I want to know what this guy knows. So I started understanding, look, this is how money works. So, you know, me being in debt at that time, I understood that, look, being in debt is not only, you know, something physical, but if you're in debt spiritually also, you know, it's even a mess. Right. So, yeah, so I was like, look, you know, spiritually now I have the vision. I'm determined to break through. So the debt, like, it was already cleared, because there was open doors. The vision was there, you know. And those people that told me that I couldn't do it, you know, at that time when they started seeing me earning through that company, then they were like, okay, you know, what's this guy doing now? And then, yeah, and then... That's
how it started off, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, are you still working for that company?
No.
What do you do now then?
So...
have you gone on to bigger things?
Yeah, so, So I'm with a bigger company now,
right?
You know, and the same guy, they told me about this company also, you know, but this is a gold company.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the beginning, and I have to say this, in the beginning, you know, it wasn't going well. And that was nothing to do with the company, but that was everything to do with myself. Mm-hmm. Because it's in business, in order for you to really explode, you need to have a foundation. You need to know what you're doing. You need to understand the purpose of the reason why you're there. If you don't know why you're there, how are you going to be able to help someone else to make the money?
So it didn't start off well.
Yeah.
To cut a long story short, basically,
yeah,
you know, you got yourself off the ground.
Yeah.
Right? How are you today?
Yeah, today...
How are things now?
Today, just like what you asked me in the beginning, you asked me if I'm okay, then I said I'm having the greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
Because, you know, things are going great. Things are going great financially speaking.
And is that with the organization or the business that you're doing now?
Yeah. With the business that I'm doing now, we me and my team. I've recently made a website now, so where people can literally access and see how we can enable them to earn gold with the company. Okay. We're going to be launching the website tomorrow at 9:30. So yeah, things are moving.
So no longer in debt.
Yes.
No longer depending on your family to support you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm sure you're grateful for what faith has done for you.
Yeah, if it wasn't because of this Christian center, unless a miracle happened, then I don't know where I'll be right now.
Samuel, thank you for coming and sharing your story with us. Okay.
Thank you.
Pastor Bruno, we see here someone, and there are many people who have similar stories, right? They came from a broken background. They came struggling in their finances. But God, and there are many examples in the Bible of people who have been successful financially through faith in God.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and one thing that I kept from what he said is when the mind changes, the mentality changes, then the life is able to change. Mm-hmm. There are many people right now, Pastor Michael, who think that their suffering is a punishment from God. Mm-hmm. There are many people who think that the suffering is the lot in life, or the karma, or the destiny. Many people who believe that they are born to suffer. And of course, thinking like this will not change the situation. It doesn't enable the change or the transformation to take place. Because, dear friend, you have to understand one thing. What you believe is what you get. That's the power of faith. Mm-hmm. So if you believe you are born to suffer, voila, what you believe is what you get. If you believe that you can never come out of this situation, you can never find a way out, that's what you'll get, because that's the power of faith. Mm-hmm. But if the person starts to believe otherwise, if the mind is able to change, to be open to this new idea, no, I can. Because that's what the Bible says. We never find God limiting us in the Bible, saying, oh, you cannot, or you can only go this far. Jesus said, everything is possible to those who believe.
And as I mentioned before, there are many examples in the Bible where people were living in famine. And God allowed them to go through a test to see if God was really able to help them. They had to do something to show that they believed that God would be able to help them. And God always came through when those people used their faith. And if you say to yourself, Pastor Bruno mentioned, maybe you believe, you think God is punishing you. That's for people who believe in God. But what about you that don't believe in God? And maybe you say to yourself, yep, I'm going through my problems because of my wrong decisions. Okay, but maybe you're sitting and doing nothing. And maybe, as Samuel said, your mindset, you are in debt. You are poor. Your mentality is a poor one. You can also change as well, of course, if you want to give God a try. After the break, myself and Pastor Bruno will be exploring this subject more, and we'll be praying for you who are going through financial struggles. If you don't want to end up homeless, if you don't want to end up losing everything you have and possibly your family as well, then stay with us. We'll see you right after this break.
We're DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord, have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now. And let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to communicate.
Okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on My Channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Basically, before I was really empty, had a lot of emptiness, and it all started because I had a lot of, my mum and dad had arguments a lot, so they were fighting a lot. And me seeing at a young age, I had a strong anger towards my dad because I used to see him hurt my mum a lot. So I had a grudge against him, and I used to show it in different ways by later on in life by trying to get girls' attention. I was separated from my family. I was trying to just be different, like just trying to express it because I knew I couldn't express it through crying because I knew that I was wrong. So that was my way of expressing it. So the worst moment in my life was basically when I almost got stabbed. And it's not just the fact that I almost got stabbed, it's because of the people that I was around. I was around girls because my aim was to get girls. I wanted to be popular, I wanted to be known, and I had my friends around. So when I almost got stabbed, all my friends left, the girls that I was with left, and it showed me like, whoa, I'm really by myself and nobody's there to help me. So in that moment, it was the worst because like I felt lonely, I felt proper lonely, and in that moment, my life started to flash like through my eyes, through my mind. I remember my mum, I remember literally everyone, and that's how it was. So it changed because my friend invited me from school to a Christian youth group, and we used to do a lot of dancing, but afterwards we used to have the message, and that used to like hit home. Like, it made me think about my life. It made me like actually wonder, where am I going? So from that, I used to listen to it, and not just listen to it, I used to put into practice. Little by little, I was asking questions, I was opening up, and because I really wanted to move forward. And slowly, I started to let go of the friends that I had strength to through the messages. I had strength to listen to my mum, to forgive my dad. And that's how the change started to happen from hearing the message from the Christian youth group. I have peace. That's one thing that I can say that I have, but that I didn't have, is real peace. It's not, I don't need anyone to give it to me. I don't need to dance, because that's how I used to show peace. I don't need to dance to have peace or happiness. I don't need to do something. It's inside. I'm a different person now. My family sees it. I'm cool with my dad. Me and my dad are really together. I don't have the grudge against him. My family's together now. My brothers, I'm working. I'm in university, so things are moving forward, and the truth is, it's only going to get better.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now joining me as promised is Pastor Bruno. Hello once again, Pastor Bruno.
Hi, hello Pastor Michael, good evening.
We see that God, we're talking about God now, God doesn't want anyone to go through what Samuel did. And as we've always mentioned on this program, God doesn't force himself into anyone's life. But I believe he shows everyone, or gives everyone, a chance to get to know him and see what he can do.
Yes, for sure, Pastor Michael, and good evening to you at home. Many people don't get how God works because they are there suffering, or they see the suffering of someone else, And the question they ask is the wrong question, because they raise the question, if God exists, why am I suffering? If God exists, why is my family suffering, or this person, or the other person? But like you said, God doesn't force himself upon anyone. In fact, in the Bible, Jesus leaves an invitation open to everyone. It doesn't matter the religion, it doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter your social status. He said like this, come to me, those who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So he's waiting.
Yeah.
Like the doctor is waiting in hospital.
The doctor will not come to you.
You come to him.
You go to him. If you want a haircut, the hairdresser, the barber will not come to you. If you want a haircut, you have to go to them and they will cut your hair. They will do your nails. The doctor will treat you. And that's the same with God. You know, there are people they go through tragedies in life. And the first one they blame is God. They didn't put their hands together in their lifetime to pray, but all of a sudden they become religious and then they start blaming God.
And we have to understand that God is righteousness. And he's the Lord of righteousness, the master of righteousness. Now, just like righteousness exists, also we have the unrighteousness and the master and the path of unrighteousness. Now, many people, they do this, Pastor Michael. They live a life of unrighteousness. They follow the path of unrighteousness. And when disaster strikes them, they complain to the master of righteousness.
In other words, right, you do what's wrong, and there's a law there, but also evil. But there's also the law of good, the law of, obedience, doing what is right. And how can you blame the one that is right for when you do something wrong and then you pay the price of your wrongdoings? It's as simple as that. That's how God is. God is not someone that brings confusion or doubt. He makes things clear in our minds. It's up to you to decide if you want your life to change and reflect this God of righteousness, this God who wants the best for me and you. And if you want help from God himself, forget about money now. Those things will come in due time. Health, peace, unity in your family, all these things will come, including money. What you need to do, instead of saying, God, I'll believe in you if you pay off my debt. That's a wrong thing to think or even say. What you need to do is get yourself right with God by saying, God, if you exist, then show me what I need to do, and he will reveal it to you. And right now, we're going to be praying for you that say, I want to give God a try. Maybe you believe in God, but you have abandoned him. But he's willing. He's willing to wait for you to come back to him, and he will help you. If you want our help tonight, this prayer that will connect with God, then God will step in and help you. Get your glass of water ready, because now it's time for prayer.
God, we enter into your presence right now. And we pray on behalf of those who want to give you a chance right now, who want, my God, to see your power. Maybe there are people at this moment praying with us, with tears in their eyes, because the pain has become unbearable, my Lord. People who have gone everywhere, searching for an answer, but there was none, my God. There was no solution. People who have tried everything others have told them. And now they are trying you, they are knocking at your door. And I'm sure, my Lord, you are more than happy to help them, to stretch out your hand. So let it be right now, at this moment, that your energy, that your power will touch their lives, that they will receive a sign of you, first of all, of your existence, of your power, a sign that what we are seeing here is true, my Lord, and you want to change his or her life. Father, I pray that you bless this glass of water. Let this water be energized. Let it be your power. Let it be, my Father, holy medicine for those who are sick. Let it be your power, my God, for those who are distressed right now. I pray, my God, that to touch these lives, and I determine the change, the transformation as of now, in the name of Jesus. Amen. Drink of your blessed water now.
So, there you have it. And just to end on this, remember, God is not a miracle maker. He's not going to perform anything without your participation. So think now, tomorrow, what are you going to start doing in order to clear your debts, in order to solve your financial matters? When you take action, that is showing your faith in God that something positive will happen. And then God will step in and he will help you. All right? Until the next time, have a wonderful evening. God bless you.